was so glad to be here today and see them both up close and personal, because it's going to be really big. I'm already booked to come back over here for 5 days in December to cover it. Obviously, I'll be doing whatever it is for talkSPORT, covering it in columns for the Telegraph. But I don't know. I think you've got to be here to witness these things. They were very impressive today. That's all I'll say.
Gareth, enjoy the Miami sun, my friend.
I'm at bare knuckle weigh-ins in a minute, and I shall be enjoying the bare knuckle fights and the sun and getting this jacket off very soon as well, because it is 27 degrees here at the moment.
Spicy. Great stuff. Gareth, thanks very much indeed. Gareth A. Davies, their talkSPORT boxing correspondent. I
feel sorry for Anthony Joshua on this fight.
Why?
I feel sorry for him because I feel like he's almost damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. I know it's weird to say you feel sorry for someone when they're earning close to probably 75, 80 million quid. But I do. I think if Anthony Joshua unleashes on him like he can, and we've seen Anthony Joshua do it, you think about that devastating blow on Francis Ngannou, and then you think about what Anthony Joshua has done in his career. If it goes well for Anthony Joshua and he knocks out Jake Paul, but Jake Paul ends up hurt, everyone's going to kind of blame Anthony Joshua, aren't they? Everybody. So
he could have not taken the fight.
Anthony Joshua could win the fight, and people will say he's gone too far. It was ridiculous. He's hurt Jake Paul.
He could have not taken the fight. He could have not taken the fight.
Yeah, of course. But then he wouldn't earn 75 million quid. Then he wouldn't earn 75 million quid at the moment. The reason why I'm saying that I feel sorry for him is because I think if he doesn't win, say it goes 6, 7, 8 rounds, say he wins on points, people will say that it's a shambles and will be very hostile to Anthony Joshua. Say he wins in 1 minute and damages Jake Paul, people will say he shouldn't have done that either. He kind of can't win here. I mean, he can win in his bank balance, but kind of can't.
Could have not taken it. Anyway, the fight will be on the 19th of December. It'll be live on Netflix, and there'll be plenty of coverage on talkSPORT, of course, with Gareth and the gang. You can always check out the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Next up here, though, on Thank Football It's Friday, we're going to return to looking ahead to this weekend's massive clash, the North London Derby. 03717 223344.
When you think about famous F1 circuits, the likes of Silverstone, Monza, Monaco come to mind. One of these is not like the others though. Monaco is just one of a number of street circuits on the calendar, and that number's only set to rise. There's a clear difference between a traditional circuit and a street circuit. One is a purpose-built facility on private land, the other is, as it sounds, a race through the streets of a major city. Monaco is the famous example, twisting and turning through the streets of the Principality with iconic backgrounds and, let's be honest, not a lot of overtaking. But from 2026, there'll be a record 10 street circuits on the calendar. It proves that cash remains king. Each track promoter gives F1 between $20 and $60 million just for the rights to host an F1 race. And when Saudi Arabia pays upwards of $100 million, you can see why it's an attractive prospect for the sport. But is it all positive? Well, the drivers aren't that bothered. If you ask a majority of them, they'll tell you historic circuits at Silverstone, Spa, Monza, Zandvoort, they're the favourites. For the sports organisers, though, it kind of makes sense. In 2025, Monaco had a record 2.3 million strong viewership in the US alone. Meanwhile, for the British Grand Prix several weeks later, 1.5 million tuned in. So while these races may not be rip-roaring, all-out action, thrill rides we want as race fans, people are tuning in even more, and bosses can demand even more.
Drama aplenty in this North London derby.
Here's Eze inside the penalty area. Gyökeres pokes it in. His first time shot takes a deflection, it's in, and Richarlison scores.
This North London derby always delivers.
Yeah, massive game this weekend, the North London derby. This is Thank Football. It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink. I'm alongside Rory Jennings. Arsenal taking on Spurs at the Emirates. And we both said, didn't we, Rory, at the top, it just feels like 3 points for Arsenal. That's despite the fact that Spurs have been quite good on the road so far this season. Let's go to your calls. 03717 22 Reno is an Arsenal fan. Reno, how you doing, mate?
Honestly, mate, I'm doing brilliant. Season ticket holder for decades. We can't wait for this game. We can't wait. Honestly, Spurs fans have been delusional for decades. They never win anything. I think they've won the title twice in over 100 years. And they come to Highbury or the Emirates, whatever you want to call it, every year and they go, we're going to beat you. And we walk out the stadium laughing at them. And I swear to you, I'd walk down the Arsenal tube station, you see some of them all quiet. You know their Spurs supporters still all quiet. And we go, oh, they only thought they're going to beat us. They only thought they were going to beat. And we just laugh at them.
Reno, what result is bad tomorrow? Like, is it if Arsenal win 1-0, are you going home disappointed? No, but what I'm talking about, you're so confident. It sounds like you're expecting it at least 3 or 4-0.
No. Look, simple as that. They are just so poor. Forget where they are in the league. Their home record is terrible. And they have, whatever you say, they've been lucky. They've been really playing poorly. They've been fortunate in away games. They are playing Franks' style of Brentford now, which falls into our laps because we love teams that hold back and that just let you control the midfield. Their midfield is weak. Our midfield is absolutely going to control them. And, yeah, okay, our forward line is not looking top-notch at the moment, but they're just going to hold back, try and get us on the break, and that falls into our trap. Honestly, we are, and we will get the goal.
You were too worried though, Reno. Last time out, you were held by Sunderland. Sunderland got a good draw. Manchester City had a great result against Liverpool. They closed the gap on you. Suddenly, it felt like Arsenal were under a bit of pressure. This is a great opportunity for Tottenham.
No. This is you guys saying it's all done and build. You know, we're going to win it. We were 6 points ahead of everybody, and it was the pundits going, "Oh, it's Arsenal's to lose." Look, 4 points. You know, is not a lot of difference. Look, against Sunderland, we knew we were going to go up there. They were going to give us hell. They were going to kick us up in the air, fight every inch of the way, and they did. And let's be honest, they deserved the draw, but quite frankly, scoring in the last minute, that little bit of luck they got and they needed, that's fine. Going away there, getting the 1 point, we don't expect to win every single game of the season. We don't.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? Right, Reno, do you think, you just said there that you expected all that fight from Sunderland, and they did make it difficult, didn't they? And they, they were in your faces. There was a lot of Arsenal fans I spoke to who said they were the most difficult and physical side that we'd played all season. And is it just me? I'm not really expecting much of that from Spurs tomorrow, despite the fact it's a derby.
No. Look, Spurs will come there. And look, who was I listening to? I can't remember, one of the pundits the other day, and he was right. The way Franks plays, they slow the game up. They try and break the game down. They'll fall over to get free kicks, etc. They will try and break the game and slow it down. And remember who's the referee. I'm not being horrible here. We've got to be a bit careful because the referee, he's one of those guys that is not in, he's not in favour of Arsenal. He will give Spurs everything they want.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Reno, thanks for your call. 03717 22 We're going to talk about that a bit later, the referee choice for this game, because it's Michael Oliver who's been put in charge, who last season, in that Wolves game in particular, when he sent off Miles Lewis-Skelly, it was 10 months ago, and now he's been put back on an Arsenal game for the first time, and it is the derby, and that was a very controversial decision, that sending off Lewis-Skelly. Mark is an Arsenal fan. Mark, how confident are you for the derby, mate?
Oh, mate, 100%. 100%. Well, to be honest, what have we got to lose?
Well,
the game itself.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's if you drop points here, I think it's and also it's a really important weekend. This, I think, for Arsenal, because Manchester City go up to St James's Park, which in recent seasons it's always been a tight game. Sometimes they've dropped points there. I think when you say what have we got to lose, I think you've got quite a lot to lose if you don't manage to get the 3 points.
He's had enough of you.
Yeah.
He's had enough of you, Clink. Mate, welcome to my world, mate. That's what I wish I could do that. To put the phone down on you. He's had enough.
Honestly, mate, if you want to leave.
Mate, I like that. What have we got to lose?
Yeah.
The game.
I think that's the first argument I've ever won.
Young up on us.
Oh, cheers for that, Mark. He literally just hung up. He's had enough. Anyway.
You could definitely lose the game, though.
Could lose the game. He's gone, oh, yeah. And then just Matt is a Spurs fan. Matt, how you feeling about the derby, mate?
Hi guys, you okay?
Hi, mate.
Show as normal. I just want to say, I think we are actually going to do something against Arsenal this time.
Ooh.
We are attacking them. We're attacking them at a good point. They're a bit weaker. They've got a lot of injuries, as of we. But I think we can definitely do something against them this time.
What have you seen from Spurs that makes you think that?
Because we're so good away. And I don't know. I've just got a feeling. I might totally be wrong, but
I don't know, Matt. Though, because we were talking before, weren't we, about the fact that Gabriel is such an important player for Arsenal. Is that part of the reason why you think Spurs might have a bit of a chance? Arsenal missing, arguably their best defender, one of the best defenders in the league, and someone who can hurt you in both boxes.
Yeah, I do, but at the same time, they've still got good cover. That Mascara, he when he covered before for Saliba, he looked quality. So that's not just the reason, but I just think Thomas Franks, his tactical genius, and I will say it, he is a genius when it comes to tactics. Yes, it looks a bit boring sometimes, but he knows what he's doing.
Just quickly, Matt, would you take a point right now?
Yeah, happily, yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Well, how on earth, though, when you talk about the tactical genius of Thomas Frank, now, look, I rate Frank, and I think that there's been moments where he's shown, incredible work, beating Man City, for example, earlier this season. But you're playing Arsenal here, you're playing the team that are currently top of the league, the best team in the country. Where do you see yourself getting anything out of this game? Are you hoping maybe Kolo Muani can feature, come on, maybe upset the Arsenal back line? I just can't even see where you win it. It's not going to be Brendan Johnson, is it? It's not going to be Odebear. How do you get anything out of this game?
It's either got to be Kudus or it's got to be Xavi Simons.
Oh, God.
There's got to be a time where Simons comes good. It's got to be.
Can I just ask you now, and it's fair to do this, if you're doing this, it's fine, but just be transparent. Are you saying Xavi Simons because you just optimistically, desperately hope that to happen? You haven't seen anything in any of his performances to suggest he is the man to unlock a North London derby, have you?
I'm not saying that, Rory, but there's definitely glimpses. I think he just needs. He's brand new to the Premier League. He's still getting used to it, but there's definitely glimpses of class there. There's definitely got to be something that we've paid all this money for.
You're a generous man, Matt. Glimpses of genius. You're a generous man.
I think to win at the Emirates, it's going to take. It's going to take easily his best performance.
Scoring against Arsenal, from a Tottenham perspective, it's done by the very best, isn't it? It's a Gareth Bale manoeuvre. It's a Luka Modric manoeuvre. It's a Harry Kane manoeuvre. It's just Xavi Simons doesn't unlock this Arsenal defence.
I like that optimistic Matt though. I enjoyed that.
He is an optimist.
He's got that little, that little derby feeling, and I dread it. I dread the derby. I hate it. I actually absolutely hate it. But you always get that little feeling like, Joe, what? We could actually win this. We could thrash them out. Matt's going through that stage right now. Let's see how it goes when it gets to Derby Day. Matt, great call. 03717 22 33 44. I want to hear from some more optimistic Spurs fans. Do you think you can go there and get a result? Because I kind of go along with you there, Roy. When you think about who are going to be the match winners for Spurs, none of those names jumped out at me.
I think the match winner, if the game is won, I would agree with what optimistic Matt was saying to a degree. I think that the match winner will be Thomas Frank if they find anything out of this game. And when I say winner, by the way, I think a point is a win for Tottenham. I really do. I think if they come out of that game, if they go to the Emirates, a stadium that has been incredibly cruel to them over the years, and they come away off the back of playing Arsenal, who are the best team in the country at the moment, that ruthless defence, if they come out of that with a point, it is as good as a victory, not only because of what it means to Tottenham, it's a good point for Tottenham, but it's so damaging to Arsenal. If it ends a point apiece, that Tottenham away end will be buoyant and the Arsenal clock end will be flat.
Keep the calls coming. 03717 22 33 44. In just a moment, we're going to chat about the referee who's been chosen for this game, and it might rile up a few Arsenal fans. Michael Oliver will be in charge of the North London derby this Sunday.
Miles Lewis-Skelly, a straight red card from referee Michael Oliver. Arsenal's 4th of this Premier League season after it was a breakaway from an Arsenal corner.
I'm absolutely amazed. If that's the sending off, then the game's gone. It's not a straight leg tackle, it's not a studs up tackle, it's a trip.
The fight and resilience shown after that red card would have been hard to do because it was such a bad decision.
When a referee is abused on social media, given the fact that these clubs and these managers are very quick to round, and rightly so, round their players, when people were abusing Kai Havertz, they were very quick to come out and say what an awful, toxic, dreadful world it is. Yeah. And I think that similarity, that everybody should be in this game together.
Going to be spicy, isn't it? The North London derby. This is Thank Football. It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink, alongside Rory Jennings. We've had a text from Steve, the Arsenal fan. He says, wow, Warren Jennings actually talking some sense. Well done, Warren. About Gabriel. Gabriel. You've been called some names on the text. That's my favourite one ever. Well done, Warren.
Warren Jennings.
Warren. You're Warren for the rest of the show now, mate, I think. But he's agreeing with you about Gabriel being that horrible player, that nasty player at the back that you really need. But of course, Arsenal are going to be missing him.
Yeah, any praise or agreement is suddenly pales into insignificance, doesn't it? It's calling me Warren G.
Yeah,
regulators.
Yes, I love it. He starts, and he starts it saying, he's like, wow, I actually agree with Warren. Anyway, we mentioned, and actually one of the callers mentioned, didn't they? The referee this weekend is Michael Oliver, which might not seem too controversial for some, but Arsenal fans, some of them will remember that he was in charge when he sent off Miles Lewis-Skelly 10 months ago at Wolves. It was a terrible decision. I think that was universally agreed. And I'm pretty sure, and some Arsenal fans might be able to remind me on this, I'm pretty sure he also sent off Leandro Trossard for kicking the ball away, which, to be honest, letter of the law was the right thing to do. But it was just, they'd had a couple of them, hadn't they? They had Declan Rice against Brighton as well. And it felt maybe to some Arsenal fans like they were the only team who were being kind of picked on in terms of that rule. I mean, what do you make of the fact that Michael Oliver, given that decision was so controversial, his first game back with Arsenal is going to be the North London derby?
I don't care. I really don't. It's quite. I'm often accused of not demonstrating enough nuance or enough composure or calmness when I talk about football. With referees.
Yeah, steady on, Warren.
Yeah, I'm a new man. With referees, I find it very difficult to be too vexed or too animated. I don't think it's really worthy of too much focus. I don't think it's something to worry about. And you say, can you believe that he's got the North London derby? You're like, well, what's the alternative here? That the FA make a decision to amend their refereeing schedule in order to accommodate the fear and almost...
I guess it's the magnitude of the game, though, isn't it? Maybe his first one back with Arsenal is, with all due respect, Arsenal-Burnley. Or...
But why should he not do this? What... If you pull at this thread, if you actually say maybe you shouldn't do a game of this magnitude, what are you insinuating there? What are you suggesting could happen? What are you saying Michael Oliver is capable of doing? Because it suddenly becomes a very murky world. I think that we have appalling referees in this country. I think that the standard of refereeing is possibly worse than it has ever been. I think that a lot of referees are cowardly in the way that they approach things. I think that they don't make decisions. I think that they rest on VAR. I think VAR is an abomination. But what I do not believe is that there is anything more sinister than that.
I'm not suggesting that, but I'm just...
No, you're not suggesting it, but the implication, if you were to say, yeah, we should take Michael Oliver off this game, why then? Why should you take him off it? What you suggest is not... I don't mean you by doing this. I mean, if he was removed from this fixture, what does that say? What message does that send out?
And especially, I know what you mean, and especially as he's the highest ranking ref as well.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's a huge game.
In my opinion, he's not a very good referee. I don't rate him as a ref, but I think that he will be equally poor to both Tottenham and Arsenal.
Darren is a Spurs fan. Darren, how are you feeling ahead of the derby, mate?
I think the problem... I feel good, but I think the problem could be Vicario. It's whether he has a blinder or whether because he's terrible at coming for crosses. He's awful.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, to be fair, though, you're not going to have the towering Gabriel in the box, are you? But having said that, I mean, Arsenal are so good at those set pieces, Darren, aren't they? Yeah. Is that what you're kind of most nervous about? Do you remember under Ange where there were some Spurs fans turning around in the stadium when Arsenal won a corner?
I was one of them, and I did not want to look at that. I turned around at every time there was a corner, regardless of what team it was.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, mate.
They were so bad. And regarding the ref, I just wanted to make a comment about the refereeing in this country. The problem isn't the referees. The problem is leadership from the FA and the actual people that run the referees. The reason why they're the problem is because there's no proper guidelines of how every ref should ref a game. If you have a game that's totally on subjectivity, you will get a different decision depending on the ref you have. Until we have rules where every ref has to follow those rules, we are going to have this situation, whether you have VAR or not. It's not going to change.
What's the score going to be in the derby, Darren?
3-2 Spurs.
Yeah, go on. Optimistic, Darren. We love it.
3 goals past this Arsenal back line.
3 goals.
Suddenly that 15 goals conceded in an entire season looks a million miles away for this Arsenal.
Richarlison hat-trick, is it?
No. It's going to be Brennan Johnson.
Brennan Johnson hat-trick?
Yeah.
Why not?
Brennan Johnson hat-trick and Arsenal concede 3 and Tottenham win the game.
And the title race
feels
explodes.
Quite far-fetched to me, but...
Oh, love it. Yeah. Oh, wait. We asked for optimistic Spurs fans and we got some optimistic Spurs fans. Let's quickly chat to Leon, who's an Arsenal fan. Leon, you feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm fairly confident. I don't agree with everyone, with most people's opinions regarding Gabriel. It's a miss. Yes, it is a miss. But we've got a number of defenders to come in. We're playing at home. We're in great form at the moment. I'm a little bit cool. I think there may be a bit of controversy in the game with the referee because I don't think he's a great referee, just like I don't think many of them are throughout the game at all. VAR, I don't think helps either. But fairly confident. Yeah, definitely fairly confident.
I'm
Spurs
surprised,
have been good
Leon.
away from home, though. That's the only thing where I'm a little bit... They have been good away from home if you look at their form.
Yeah, but you've been good at home. They've been good away. You've been good at home. Do you know what, Leon? Can we talk a little bit more? You seem fairly calm about the fact that Gabriel's going to be missing. Now, I would argue that, yeah, you do have other good defenders. You know, Mosquera's a very good player. Whoever ends up playing in that position, it will be a very good player. But they won't be Gabriel.
No, it's not. No, don't get me wrong. Like, Gabriel not there is a miss, but it's not as big as a miss if it was last season, the season before that, the season before that. That's
Mate,
the thing.
I think you're right there, Lee. I mean, you've got Ngapié, you've got Ben White's been sat on the bench as well.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people seem to forget that we have been labelled with playing with 4 centre-backs.
Yeah.
So if we have got 1 centre-back missing, the way we've been labelled saying we only play with centre-backs in the back line, then there shouldn't be a problem. And I don't think it will be as big of a problem as everyone's making out. We're at home. We're in good form. The fans are going to be up for it. It's a North London derby. So, yeah, I am fairly confident. But the only thing, Spurs have been good away from home.
What's the score going to be, Leon?
I fancy us winning by 2 clear goals.
Oh, love it. There we go. Optimistic Leon as well for the Arsenal. There we go. 0371722 3344. Don't forget the boys will keep you across it on Game Day Live between 1:30 and 6:30 on Sunday. That North London derby. Sam Matterface, Dean Ashton and Perry Groves will be across the country. The show will be coming live from the Emirates, and Sam, of course, also hosts Men in Black, the podcast about referees, and I'm sure Michael Oliver will also be a talking point in that. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Right, Preston against Blackburn is about to get underway over on talkSPORT 2, but next here on talkSPORT, we'll be chatting Chelsea. They're not in their title race, are they?
Dear Kitmen, we see you. We appreciate your work. While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the Kitman. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit, make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the Kitman. In the meantime, it's on the Kitman to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the Kitman then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
talkSPORT. The Premier League is back in session.
Anthony on the charge, edge of the penalty, onto his right foot, fires the shot, deflected, and in, and it's 2-0 to Burnley.
It's headed towards João Pedro, and he glances the ball past a stranded goalkeeper who was absolutely nowhere. This is the Premier League. This is talkSPORT, and it's about to heat up again.
Good evening, this is Thank Football, it's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside Rory Jennings. It is the weekend, we are building up to the Premier League and Burnley are taking on Rory's Chelsea tomorrow. It is live on talkSPORT. It's the early kick-off, all of the build-up from 11 o'clock with Reshmin Chowdhury and the team. Rory, it's interesting this, isn't it, with Chelsea, because when you look at some of their results so far this season, you know, Old Trafford springs to mind, which was absolute chaos, and you got the red card and went on to lose that game. You lost at home to Brighton. You lost at home to Sunderland as well.
Yet, right, mate, what you did?
And yet, but hold on, let me finish. And yet, you're third in the table. You're on 20 points. You're 6 points behind Arsenal, 2 behind Manchester City.
Right.
You're 2 ahead of Liverpool.
All understood. What is your actual point here?
Is it fair to say that Chelsea are in a title race, could be in a title race?
No, of course not. Of course not. Of course we're not in a title race. We don't have a squad capable of winning a league. We don't have a manager capable of winning a league. We aren't a club that are set up to win a league. We aren't a club whose genuine ambition is to win a league. The aspiration of Chelsea Football Club, and I say this with regret, by the way, I say this with disdain to the ownership, the point of Chelsea Football Club is no longer to win the Premier League title. The point of Chelsea Football Club is no longer to win the European Cup. We are a team that's built upon being competitors. We are a team built to be valiant losers. We're supposed to turn a profit. We sign players with profit in mind. We sign players who, the vast majority of them, will never win a league title in their entire careers. We sign players who are young that we can hopefully flip for profit in the future. Just to almost build on your frustration, how many kind of experienced players away do you think this actual Chelsea squad is from being a side that could challenge? This is what makes it even more frustrating, Ollie, because I don't think it would take a lot to turn this team of decent young pros into a team that could launch a serious and sustained bid to win a league title. It wouldn't take a lot. So, for example, if you look at the window that we just had, off the back of a fairly decent season, like, I don't think Enzo Maresca is a particularly good manager. I don't think Enzo Maresca is a manager that will win a league. But what cannot be denied is that he succeeded to a degree last year. What his objectives were at the beginning of the season was to win the Conference League, to get Chelsea back into the Champions League. And for whatever reason, we managed to succeed on both of those two goals. We then got a cherry on the cake. We then lifted silverware in New York City, beating the European champions Paris Saint-Germain in the process. So it was great. So what could have happened in that summer is Chelsea could have made some manoeuvrings in the transfer window to create a team that were totally capable of winning a Premier League title. And the way that you do that is very easy. You sign a goalkeeper, for example, Donnarumma, a goalkeeper that moved in the summer, a goalkeeper that would almost definitely have come to Chelsea if we had paid him the money. You signed Donnarumma, arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, a truly experienced pro who has done it at the very top. So you sign Donnarumma. You need a centre-half. You've got a real issue at centre-half. Levi Colwill, Chelsea's best centre-half, probably got injured. He got injured at a good time. We had the opportunity to go and sign somebody. Mark Gahey, potentially, you go and sign him. What do we do instead of signing Gahey? We've got our best centre-half out. We've got two very average centre-halves. We've got the worst goalkeeper in the league. We're going to spend quite a lot of money on the final few days of the window. What are we going to do? We're going to sign a keeper? No. We're going to sign a centre-half? No. We're going to go and sign Buonanotte and Garnacho, more inside forwards. So
you
Chelsea
don't need.
We have an abundance. And I tell you what, there is actually a transfer that I think it totally represents who Chelsea are and what Chelsea want to do. Chelsea sold Noni Madueke to Arsenal. Now, if we really wanted to win the league, what we would have done is sell Noni Madueke. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you do with that money is you go and you sign Eberechi Eze. If you really want to win a league, you go and you sign a player that is ready to win a league, like Eberechi Eze. Just guided Crystal Palace to their first ever piece of silverware, won them the trophy against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City at Wembley. He is so ready. He's like a coiled spring, ready to win major silverware in this
Premier League proven.
Premier League proven. And instead of that, we sell Madueke, and instead of buying Eze, we buy Garnacho. So no, we are not in a title race. And do you know what? Being brutal, but being honest, Enzo Maresca doesn't win a league title.
At all?
No, Enzo Maresca...
Could he develop into a manager that could win a league title?
Maybe, but that isn't for the here and now. What you don't do at Chelsea... What you didn't do at Chelsea...
You've been a bit of a negative Nelly, mate.
No, but Ollie, when we were a club with standards, you didn't learn your craft at Chelsea. You came to Chelsea when you'd already proven yourself. Enzo Maresca, you said, could he become a great manager? Yeah, maybe. Maybe in a decade's time, maybe in half a decade's time, he'll find his feet and he'll win a league title. I would doubt that. I don't believe so, but maybe. But he should be perfecting his craft elsewhere, learning on the job elsewhere, making his mistakes elsewhere. When we had standards, who did we appoint? Jose Mourinho won a European Cup, came to Chelsea. Carlo Ancelotti, serial European Cup winner, came to Chelsea. Even the managers that didn't work out. For example, one of the worst managers I've ever seen at Stamford Bridge, to be frank, Luis Felipe Scolari, terrible manager. The appointment was still true and good. The appointment, he won the Brazil, he won Brazil the World Cup. Yeah. Still a good appointment. It just didn't work out. But now we're plucking a geezer off the bench at Leicester City. We're plucking a geezer straight out of the Championship. And why? Primarily because he had a pre-existing friendship with Pep Guardiola. We've appointed a B-Tech Pep Guardiola from the Championship. And that's why we aren't capable of winning a league title.
03717 223344. If you're a Chelsea fan, maybe feel that Rory's not being ambitious enough. Can you dream a bit bigger this season? Dave says on the text on 81089, Chelsea are not in the title race. They're definitely a cup team. I would say as a Villa fan, we are more in the title race. A Villa more in the title race than Chelsea are.
Villa are not. Well, I think
neither are.
The argument I would make is that we are equally in the title race, which is neither of us are in the title race.
Do you go along with that Chelsea are now a cup team again? And I'm talking, when I say again, I mean the kind of 90s Chelsea.
If you're telling me that it's 1997 all over again, I am so up for that. I am so up for Chelsea. Oversized collars, brilliant stadiums, cheap tickets, relatable footballers, Chelsea being a great cup team. I am so up for that. But no, I don't think we are. I don't think we're a cup team. I just think that we are. I think that we don't have the experience to like actually compete at the very top. As soon as we come up against a team that is capable, we will struggle. You don't have the experience. Most teams that are good, they will have someone who's 28 years old who's been there, done it. Someone who's 31 who's been there, done it. And Chelsea have made so much use out of those players over the years. You know, when we signed Michael Ballack, when we signed Thiago Silva, they come into Chelsea ready, proven, experienced. Why are we signing only children? It makes no sense.
The game after your clash with Burnley, which, as I said, is live on talkSPORT in the Premier League, is Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. Could be an interesting game.
But it's the kind of game where we could take points off Arsenal.
You beat Liverpool.
But look, I think it's not wild for me to say that we beat Arsenal, but it's equally not wild for me to say Burnley get a point off us.
Yeah,
that's
been the issue with Chelsea.
Both of those things are simultaneously true.
I tell you what, let's hear from Enzo Maresca, because Chelsea are set to be out without Cole Palmer for even longer. He's got a broken toe. He stubbed his toe, and Enzo Maresca explained how his side suffers without their talisman.
I feel much better when Cole is inside the pitch, and we all want Cole inside the pitch. In the same time, when Cole is not in the pitch, we need to find solution. And the team is doing fantastic. Is doing very well. Also, I think for any manager, it's nice when you miss player, but at the end the team still play in the way we want to play. It's good. But again, we are a better team with the coach.
I mean, Palmer will have missed 20 Chelsea games this season, and it seems like a bit of a freak accident with this stubbing of his toe, and hugely frustrating, as you can hear there from his manager as well. I mean, is his injury record becoming a bit of a concern, do you think?
I don't think it's a concern long term. I don't think that he's going to be sort of a perennially injured footballer. I think his injury record up until this point has been good, but it's a real concern this season. He's our best player by a mile, really. Like in terms of an attacking sense, Moises Caicedo is equally important in a different way, but Cole Palmer is just a genius. I love him so much. I think he's so detrimental to Chelsea when he's not around. I'm worried about England without having the opportunity to utilise Cole Palmer. And I think we just got to get
Adrian Durham was saying the other day that because of these injury issues, that he actually thinks Palmer might struggle to get on the plane, given how strong the number 10 position is for England. I don't agree with that.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Obviously, I sort of love Adrian Durham. I love what he does when he covers England. But I would say that on this, I totally disagree with him. I don't think there's any truth in that at all.
Yeah. Sam is a Chelsea fan. Sam, what did you make of what Rory said about Chelsea absolutely not being in this title race and being quite critical of the ownership in terms of their ambitions?
Well, by the way, more than anything, I just don't understand where you expect us to be at, Rory.
We spent £500 million.
We have.
In fact, we spent £500 million on. We spent £500 million on. $500,000.
Who's out there that's better than Enzo? Who's out there that would deal with what we've dealt with? And who's out there that's going to be better than Enzo?
Who's a better manager than Enzo Maresca? What about the Bournemouth manager? What about the Crystal Palace manager?
No, that's not what. What have they done? What have they done? What have they won? What have they
the
achieved?
FA Cup. Glasner won Palace the FA Cup
and the Europa League with Frankfurt.
FA Cup, and you was arguing that the Club World Cup's one of the biggest trophies going, weren't you? So
in terms of prestige, but not for Crystal Palace. Not for Crystal Palace to win an FA Cup is incredible, isn't it?
No, it is 100%. But what's bigger, the Club World Cup or the FA Cup? You decide. You can't have it both ways, mate. Who's bigger and better on the market that's available for us?
This isn't quite the point. It's not.
He's come in. He's done a fantastic job. We had 2 trophies available. He's won both of them.
We didn't have 2 trophies available. Why did he have 2 trophies available? He competed in the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Premier League. He had 2 trophies available. We didn't win 2 out of 2, did he?
We was never in the shout in the Premier League, so let's not give it that. Yes, League Cup, FA Cup, whatever. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. So why did you say he's won 2 out of the 2 trophies he's competed for?
Well, he's competed for 4 trophies then, bar the Premier League. We know we ain't going to win that. You knew last year we weren't going to win that. So you've got the Club World Cup, the Conference League, the FA Cup and the League Cup. We've won 50% of the trophies available.
You asked me who's a better manager than Enzo Maresca, and I said
yes.
Andoni Iraola. And I said Oliver Glasner, and you started making arguments about various trophies. Is Oliver Glasner a better manager than Enzo Maresca?
No, in my opinion, no.
He's not.
No, I don't think so.
Is Andoni Iraola doing what he's doing with Bournemouth a better manager than Enzo Maresca?
What makes them better than Enzo Maresca?
Management. Their management of their football club.
In terms of what?
But I don't understand. I don't know how we can qualify this. It's just so basic that obviously winning Crystal Palace their first ever piece of silverware off the back of winning a Europa League at Frankfurt.
No, that's irrelevant. At the end of the season, would you rather celebrate 1 trophy or 2?
I can't believe... It's irrelevant. It's their first ever piece of silverware. It's Crystal Palace. Chelsea are a club that historically have won Premier League titles, retained Premier League titles, won European Cups. Compare that to a Conference League, beating Shamrock Rovers on the way to silverware, beating a team called Noah, who I had never even heard of, on the way to silverware. You're comparing that to Crystal Palace beating Pep Guardiola at Wembley in a final.
And it's a great achievement for Crystal Palace. I'm not disregarding that at all.
Okay, back to the original thing. The architect of that victory was Oliver Glasner.
Well, it's solely down to him. It's completely down to him.
Well, no other manager has won any silverware at that club ever.
No, and exactly. He's done an absolutely amazing job. But that doesn't take away from what Enzo's done at Chelsea.
No, it doesn't take away. But you asked me... You asked me in quite a facetious way to name a better manager than Enzo Maresca. I keep giving you 2, and you keep trying to argue that I'm wrong. And I'm saying that I'm not wrong. Oliver Glasner is undoubtedly a better manager than Enzo Maresca. It's not even controversial.
Sam, can I just ask you something as well? Because you said about, the fact that you knew you weren't going to win the Premier League. And it was almost like this acceptance, which I find quite strange given the club that Chelsea were before. Like Rory did point out, you used to retain titles.
It's because he has normalised mediocrity. Enzo Maresca has normalised mediocrity to a level where Sam goes, we're not even competing for the Premier League anymore.
No. Chelsea has a standard, and you've got to... How many players have we had come in and go out the door in the last... since Abramovich? We're talking probably best part of 100 players.
Because of the policy that is enacted by this new ownership.
Changed from top to bottom. The ownership isn't... in my opinion... I like the ownership.
Yeah, your opinion. I can't argue with your opinion, but the ownership are factually destroying the club in terms of our competitiveness on the pitch.
They're not, though. It's building, mate.
You've just said that we're not even competing for leagues. Would that have been acceptable under the previous ownership?
When was the last time we competed for a title, Rory?
Would it have been acceptable under Roman Abramovich to not compete for a Premier League title?
No, and how many did we win under Roman Abramovich? We won what? 4 trophies under Roman, 4 Premier Leagues under Abramovich. How long did he own us? 5.
What I'm saying
how many
is,
years did he own us?
The point is that we competed every year, and we try to compete every year. Whether we finished,
we didn't compete every year, though, did we? We were finishing 10th, 12th, whatever.
Hang on a minute. What are you on about? When we finished 10th, the previous year to finishing 10th, we won it. The next year, off the back of finishing 10th, we won it. We went top, 10th, top. So what are you talking about?
Sam, that was fantastic. I've just finished my popcorn. That was brilliant. By the way, you mentioned that Chelsea were competing for the League Cup and didn't win it. Newcastle won the League Cup last season. Just thought I'd point that out. By the way, that game, Burnley against Chelsea, is live on talkSPORT. Tomorrow, next, we're going to be looking ahead to Monday night's exclusive commentary here on talkSPORT as Manchester United host Everton.
It's talkSPORT. We are Premier League.
Yellow's cross towards him. Bamo, and he heads it in. Goes on the outside. Gets into the box. Finishes it brilliantly down the near corner. In off the post. Inside scores. Did we expect anything less? This is the Premier League.
Corner studio has just simmered down a bit. It's just simmered down a bit. That was electric.
I don't understand how we.
It's a bit of Chelsea infighting on a Chelsea on blue.
It's like the away end. I honestly, I just don't understand how mediocrity can be so normalised that we go, well, we're not even competing for the league. Well, if not, why not?
Yeah. This is Thank Football It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink, alongside Rory Jennings. On Monday night, Rory, it's Manchester United against Everton. It will be live on talkSPORT. And I tell you what, it's all feeling a bit calmer, isn't it, around Old Trafford at the moment? 5 games unbeaten in the league. And are things just about starting to turn around, do you think, for Ruben Amorim? I mean, it kind of sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Because it's a 5-game unbeaten run. And you know, we're talking about them like they're kind of, with all due respect, a team like Brentford. It's like, oh, that's a great run. And you know, it is Manchester United. But at the same time, given the standards and given the start to this season, you know, it does feel like it's just starting to move towards Amorim's favour.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is moving in the right direction for Manchester United. Whether it's going to be good enough, whether long-term Ruben Amorim is going to be the man to take them back to where they belong, I'm still sceptical, to be honest. I mean, it's all very well painting it in a very positive colour off the back of five games without defeat, but that doesn't make up for the previous year where they have been inept. His decision-making has been atrocious. But we have to sort of play the cards that we dealt with at the moment, and the football that they're playing, the results that they're gathering are fairly impressive. So they're certainly moving in the right direction. But look, 2 defeats on the spin and they're back to square one.
The genuine turning point is going to be when that fella cuts his hair, I think. When they actually do win 5 games in a row, I genuinely think that'll be the moment.
But do you know what? He set the bar so high. 5 games in a row is a lot. Man. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's too many.
You know, because all it takes, one draw, you're back to square one.
Is he going to get to a stage where he's like, he's got to go now?
I thought he might have done it recently.
Yeah.
I thought that, I think it's called the United Strand, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
I thought that what he might have done off the back of the fairly decent run they were on, it looked like they were going to get there. I thought he might have gone, do you know what, kind of joke's over, we had a good run, I'm going to have a trim now. But obviously it's quite lucrative for him. I think he's doing quite well out of it.
Well, I know he must actually want them to win though. He doesn't want.
No, I think he certainly wants them to win. But as soon as he has a haircut, it's over.
It must be horrible though.
Mate, he'd be making good money out of this.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
fair enough. Fair play to him.
And he's got a great barnet, so why not?
That's true. Yeah.
Do you think he backcombs it or something? Like I don't understand how it's so bushy.
It is bushy, isn't it?
I don't understand how it's so bushy.
Could he perm it? Or
like if I grew my hair long, it would go down. His seems to go up and out. Yeah. Like a member of the Jackson 5. It's like unbelievable.
It's amazing, isn't it? Let's hear from Ruben Amorim, because Manchester United are about to embark on a run of 5 games against sides below them in the table. But Amorim doesn't think that means anything.
If you know the history of our team, you never know where is the difficult game. So that is completely irrelevant in Premier League.
What? That makes no sense to me. Why is he? I don't get this with Amorim still, and I don't know. I think a lot of Manchester United fans, obviously, they really appreciate his honesty, but I still just have this issue with him where I just find him a bit too honest. Like, why is he not there saying, yeah, great opportunity, we can take on the likes of Everton, we can go to Crystal Palace, we can play West Ham United at home, Wolves away, and then Bournemouth at home, and we can get some really good results out of that. Instead, in his answer, he's there going, well, actually, if you look at some of the past results, we usually lose these games. So I just don't get it. No, even though it's quite a nice moment at the moment. Is he tempering expectations, or is he being a bit negative?
I've never really understood it. I think a manager's responsibility. You're not only the manager in terms of the setting up the club, setting up the tactics, setting up the players. You're effectively the public face of the football club. And I think when you are the Manchester United manager, it's a stature. There's a stature that's involved. And the status of the club is almost resting on your shoulders. I think he should be more aggressive in his language. I think he should be more optimistic when it comes to talking about fixtures. I think he should be more on the front foot. He is the manager of arguably the biggest club in the country. He's a manager of undoubtedly one of the biggest clubs in Europe. And he talks as if he's like the Sheffield United manager.
Yeah, it's just kind of so cautious, isn't it? Yeah. It's so cautious about a big opportunity.
And the thing is, it won't chime. I think he can get away with it at the moment. I think Manchester United fans, to their credit, I think it's to their credit at least, they have a history of being incredibly loyal to their own, don't they? They have a history of almost backing their own blindly, and therefore I think he has a forgiveness on the Stretford end.
Do you know what's interesting? 4 years ago today,
Solskjaer, isn't it?
Yeah, United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He lost 4-1 at Watford. You might remember the scenes, and it was dreadful. It was an awful performance, and the writing was on the wall. They were 7th in the table, Rory, just like they are now, and at the moment that's kind of being celebrated. I mean, isn't that quite astonishing, really? That I'm not saying they should have kept Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And actually, I think there was when it was really turning under Amorim, there was a few fans going, "Should we try and get Ollie back in?" I don't think that would have been the answer, but isn't that just telling of the way the standards have slipped?
Do you know what the standards of the club and the mediocrity that's set in at the club and the lack of standards? Like even Cristiano Ronaldo, I think Cristiano Ronaldo's conduct of late has been fairly peculiar, but. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, when he was back at Manchester United, do you remember I think he scored a hat-trick against Tottenham and whatever else. He spoke about the standards of the club. And if you think about the standards that were set by Sir Alex Ferguson, that was what made the club so good. So the standards that were set probably under Ferguson and maybe even just prior to Ferguson, maybe say Brian Robson, they were inherited by Cantona, passed on to Keane, taken over by Rooney, Ronaldo. The standards of the club were set. Roy Keane would elevate the tide. Everybody would play to a very particular level because that was a standard of representing Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo, when he was back at Manchester United, he spoke, didn't he, about how the younger players didn't particularly want to learn. They didn't set the standards. The standards had changed. The club wasn't the same. And I feel like that is the problem at Manchester United at the moment.
Is it almost a bit like Chelsea when you're saying about embracing mediocrity?
Yeah, there is an element of that at Manchester United, and I do think that it needs to change because, look, realistically, Ollie, do you rate Ruben Amorim? Do you believe that he's a good manager? Do you believe that he's a manager good enough to take the reins at a club like Manchester United?
No.
No, neither do I. Like, regardless of this run of form that they're on, that man is not capable of leading a club of that size, and it's one of the most brilliant clubs. I don't particularly want to see Manchester United succeed, but I'm a football fan in this country. I respect the institution of Manchester United. I don't want them to win games, but I kind of want them to fail in their own right. Whereas I feel like this isn't Manchester United. Manchester United don't really play three at the back. The standards aren't quite what they should be.
Yeah, I agree with that. 0371722 3344. By the way, the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast is out now as former Manchester United goalkeeper Ben Foster and Breakfast Show host Jeff Stelling discuss whether Senny Lamens is a safe pair of hands at Manchester United. And if you want to hear more, then the talkSPORT Daily is available on all podcast platforms. And just a reminder again, Manchester United against Everton in the Premier League is live and exclusive on talkSPORT. On Monday night, Adrian Durham will be leading the team. It's Sam Matterface and the former England midfielder Danny Murphy. Right next here on talkSPORT, we'll be looking ahead to Newcastle against Manchester City tomorrow. Big game at both ends of the table.
Another eventful day in the Premier League. Murphy drills one across and it's gone in! Murphy scores again! His ball flicks into the area. Haaland suddenly heads it over the keeper.
This is Premier League football at its best.
This is Thank Football. It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink. I'm alongside Rory Jennings. We've got a text here from Jezza. He says, listening to Rory Jennings, I think this is in reference to your caller Sam, who you had a bit of an argument with a bit earlier. Listening to Rory Jennings like listening to a politician. Just answer the question. You actually said to me a bit earlier that you thought you'd make a great Prime Minister.
Mate, why do you keep bringing up stuff
I mean, you did say that.
off camera? I say, I've got to be careful.
The Right Honourable Warren Jennings.
Warren, stop calling me Warren. Mate, I should run for
Oh,
public.
dare. Yeah, no.
Mate, you need to, honestly, everything I say to you off camera now is I'm going to be very cautious the way I speak to you, because I say anything to you off camera and suddenly you just start talking about it on the airwaves.
Yeah, so what?
Racing.
Yeah, but what would you do? The first thing you would do if you were in charge, if you were Prime Minister?
Cancel you. Olly Clink is no more. Olly Clink is in Clink.
And then ban video games.
Yeah, mate. Ban video games for the over 15s. That'd be a great policy.
Ban football shirts?
Ban football shirts for the over 15s. Mate, I think I should win. That's a winning ticket.
Oh, that is not a vote winner, mate. I'm telling you right now.
Great London, mate.
Yeah. Have you seen what I'm doing, by the way? We've got to talk about Newcastle United now.
Just deflecting.
And I'm trying to deflect as much as I can because we're 2 points above the relegation zone.
I'm quite looking forward to this segment. Not necessarily to ridicule you, or genuinely not, in fact. I'm looking forward to it because I think that it could be quite didactic for me, in as much as you can kind of educate me into what is going on at Newcastle, because I rate Eddie Howe incredibly highly. The ambition of the club and the ownership has, perhaps in my lifetime, never been higher. And yet, there are some great players at the club. People would argue that it's the best midfield in the league, and yet for one reason or another, it really isn't working. It's been a diabolical start to the season. Can you, genuinely here, can you educate me and explain what is going on?
I think firstly, it has been actually 6 wins in the last 9 games, but obviously the league form has not been good at all. Newcastle at the moment, I think, are 6th in the Champions League. They're into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, but you're right to point out the league form's been so bad. The issue has been away from home. Mostly when they have played at home, though, in the league, they obviously had that last-minute loss to Liverpool, last-minute loss to Arsenal as well, so that hasn't helped at all. But the away form has not been good enough. And what's been a bit frustrating is actually when you look at some of the early results away from home, maybe the 0-0 draw at Villa, where it was their first game without Alexander Isak, and away at Bournemouth, who have done well so far this season, they're not the worst points ever on the road. And actually the performances, especially defensively, were really good because they had Livramento and Lewis Hall. Now, the fact that both of those players got injured was a bit of a disaster, really. Having to play Dan Burn at left back, I feel sorry for him because it's not his strongest position, obviously. 6'7", playing at left back, and it's been an issue for Newcastle before, and it feels like an issue that Eddie Howe should have had a better response to.
Olly, you're now the politician. You've lost 5 out of 11 league games. You've got 12 points out of 11 games. You're averaging a tiny bit more than a point a game. You're on points tally wise, it's not a million miles away from relegation. You currently sit 2 points above the relegation zone. What is happening? Are you worried at all about that? No, that's not a legitimate theory.
Do you know what? I'm not overly worried at the moment. I think that Eddie Howe does deserve some criticism for sure, because I think that especially in the West Ham game, especially in the Brentford game, there were just decisions that for me didn't make sense, or lack of decisions. So, for instance, not taking Dan Burn off when everyone knew that he was about to give away a penalty and then indeed get himself sent off. I feel like the return of players like Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento are going to be crucial for Newcastle. They've also not had Johan Wissa as that other striking option. That's been a bit of a disaster, really, as a transfer so far, because he hasn't even played yet. So I'm hoping that those players coming back into the side will help to turn things around. But it's funny, Roy, because last season, around this kind of time, Newcastle went to Brentford, lost 4-2, was at the game. There was sideways rain. It was one of the worst games I've ever worked on for talkSPORT for obvious reasons. But then after that, Eddie Howe decided to have a tactical reset. He moved Sandro Tonali into the 6, and then Newcastle went on a 9-match winning run, ended up getting into the Champions League and winning the Carabao Cup. Anyone trying to call for Eddie Howe's head is just absolute nonsense.
No,
because he deserves at least the chance to turn it around, because he's shown he can do it before.
No, Olly, I rate Eddie Howe incredibly highly. Listen, I've been arguing for a long time that I wish Eddie Howe was the England manager. I think he was the right man for the job. I think he certainly deserved an interview. I think it was cowardly from the FA not to give it to Eddie Howe. I rate him very highly. Whatever the problems are, I feel like I could make a list of 50 problems at Newcastle and not say Eddie Howe's name once. I don't think he is a problem. I think he's a solution. But it's almost irrelevant what I think. It's almost irrelevant the reputation that Eddie Howe has. You're a couple of points above the relegation zone, and we're a quarter of the way into the season.
I think the other thing that's been a bit frustrating so far is when you looked at the campaign before when we were in the Champions League, that squad was nowhere near strong enough to compete in the Champions League and also in the Premier League. And we saw the results of that. There were so many injuries because of the high pressing style that Newcastle played. When you look at the team now, that squad is a lot stronger, and they've invested in the summer to try and fix that. But it still feels sometimes like they are fading in the second half of games. And sometimes Eddie Howe will say, look, it's not an excuse. He refuses to have it as an excuse that the players are tired from Wednesday heading into Sunday. But that doesn't mean it's not a reality. Even if he doesn't want it to be an excuse, it doesn't mean it's not a reality. And I do still feel like it's potentially a manager and a backroom staff and a set of players that are still not quite used to being a club that is competing in the Champions League and having to fight in the league as well. And you can really see it when they are then taking on some of those mid-table teams in the Premier League.
Do you think that the impact of the Alexander Isak saga is still apparent at Newcastle?
Yeah, absolutely. It has to be because it's affected the way that they press and play so much. Nick Voldemort has been absolutely brilliant so far in terms of his goal scoring, and he's beyond criticism for me because it's not necessarily his fault, but it has just changed the way that the Newcastle press, and especially away from home, that's really harmed them because with the way that the Premier League is changing in terms of its style, teams like Brentford or teams like West Ham, when they get the ball at the back, are going to go, we're going to pump this long, we're going to target Dan Burn, for instance. Newcastle in the past used to target teams playing at home. When they were playing it around the back, they'd force them into mistakes and then they'd score. So they were a brilliant team away from home. And at the moment, that's not bearing any fruit because they're struggling to adapt, not just because they're not as good as a pressing team anymore away from home, but also because the style in the Premier League is changing as well. Let's hear from Pep Guardiola, though, because they do take on Manchester City Newcastle tomorrow. It's at 5:30. Erling Haaland scored 4 goals for Norway. He is on fire, isn't he? It's absolutely ridiculous. They qualified for their first World Cup since 1998. They could be a force, Norway at the World Cup. But Rory, he is on 99 Premier League goals, and City boss Pep Guardiola was asked about the prospect of his striker becoming the fastest player to reach 100 goals.
Yeah, really, it's incredible this season. He broke all the records. He's breaking a lot of personal, individual records and Premier League records. I think for Norway records. So, but happy for him, for his national team. So many. I heard yesterday that many of the squad for Norway not even were born when the last time that Norway was in the World Cup. So I think for the country is incredible and have made an incredible qualification, scoring a lot of goals, playing really good and. As a football player and his status as a football player, world-class player, deserves to play a World Cup and live the experience and a perfect age. He's mature and, so happy for him.
Becoming the fastest player to reach 100 goals is an incredible achievement. I really hope he doesn't do it, obviously. but I mean... It's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes we talk about maybe Harry Kane coming back from Bayern Munich and breaking Alan Shearer's record. But with the way Erling Haaland is going, if he decides to stay, whether it's with Manchester City or not, and stays in the Premier League, surely it's going to be his record. I mean, because the numbers are just absolutely ridiculous.
Do you know what I'm doing right now, Ollie? I'm genuinely doing a calculation, and I've just worked out the exact date. It's going to happen in 2031 August.
Really? How did you work that out?
I've averaged 30 goals a season.
Oh, okay.
30 goals a season.
Yeah.
If it happens, if he stays in this league and continues to score goals at the rate that he's scoring goals, he will break it 2031.
You did that quite quick. What did you get, maths GCSE?
I started doing it as soon as the package started.
Yeah. Did you do maths GCSE? What did you get?
Don't worry, listen, mate. I've got one Achilles heel, and it's math. Do you know I could do any? There is no mathematical sum that I can't do. Genuinely.
Right, yeah.
It's just the problem I have is I need about 5 minutes, a pen and a paper, and a totally silent room.
6 times 7?
No, I'm not doing that now.
6 times 7?
I'm not doing it.
You can do 6 times 7. I love about that. You have no confidence.
No, I have no confidence whatsoever. Absolutely terrible. Also, I come out in a hot sweat. I'm like, it's my one Achilles heel. So I'd never go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or anything like that. Because if they ask me maths, I can get the answer. I just need you to leave me alone for ages and give me a pen and paper.
12 times 9?
Go away. I've just worked out, this is far more important, 2031, August, is when Erling Haaland will break Alan Shearer's 260 goal record. So it's not that far in the future. I don't think there's a question as to whether he can break it. The question is whether he's in the country to break it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Do you think there will be a time where he eventually moves on from Manchester City?
I don't. I actually find it quite insulting to a degree, not personally, but to kind of Man City and the Man City project and the ambitions of Man City. You know, people go, oh well, he'll obviously go to Real Madrid. I've never really understood that. I don't think it's true. I don't think Real Madrid can give him what he needs.
I think he'll want that record as well, you know. I really do think
I think when you're
that.
him, though, I don't think... Like, you know, if you would say to me Harry Kane wants the 260 record, it would make sense to me because Harry Kane's legacy on some level needs it. Erling Haaland doesn't. Erling Haaland is chasing bigger things than that. Erling Haaland has won a treble.
I think he likes breaking the records.
Erling Haaland deserved the Ballon d'Or the year Man City won the treble.
Yeah.
Like, he deserved the Ballon d'Or that year. I don't think he needs the 260 Premier League goal record to secure his legacy. On some level, Harry Kane does.
Over on talkSPORT 2, by the way, there have been 2 quick goals right on the stroke of half-time. First, Blackburn took the lead through a Lewis Miller header before Preston equalised through Alfie Devine. The second half will be live over on talkSPORT 2. You can download the talkSPORT app and swipe between the stations. Here on talkSPORT, though, next, it's everyone's favourite feature, Too Good, Too Bad.
Las Vegas, baby, on talkSPORT.
Hello, this is Thank Football. It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside Rory Jennings. Thanks to our friends at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, we're giving you and a friend the chance to win the ultimate trip of a lifetime to, you can guess, Las Vegas. Picture this, you and your best mate flying upper class from London to Las Vegas, checking into a luxury spa villa for 4 incredible nights at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, cheering from the stands as the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and to top it all off, $5,000 in cash to play with in Las Vegas. So clear your calendar from January the 2nd to January the 7th, 2026, because nothing starts a new year like Vegas. Good luck.
21 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
It's to Las Vegas, by the way. Right, now it's time for this.
Too good? Todd Bowley has become our sporting director. The man's never worked in European football before. So the fact that he's now in charge of this recruitment drive fills me a little bit with fear.
Too bad.
Going out and signing with Charleston, it's huge, isn't it? He will certainly score goals for them.
Yeah, this is Too Good, Too Bad, where me and Rory Jennings take it in turns to pick out one player we're looking forward to see play this weekend and one who needs a performance. Warren, let's start on the lighter side. Who are you looking forward to seeing play this weekend?
Right, stop it. I'm going for Erling Haaland, you know, for many reasons. I'm going for Erling Haaland because he's almost definitely going to hit the 100 goals. I feel like watching him play at the moment, he's evolving his game to such a brilliant level. He's scoring goals that I didn't think he was capable of. Like, he's always had the robust quality, hasn't he? He's always been able to score those goals comparable to the one he scored maybe against Brentford this season. You know, where he's just on it, he's faster, he's stronger, he's more malleable than you, and that's the kind of goal he scores. But I like his new finish, his deft touch, his clever goal, the backwards header against Monaco, that sort of thing. So I'm certainly looking forward to seeing him score, and I hope he does. I really do, because he is my best hope to not being totally heartbroken at the end of the season.
No chance he scores, mate. Absolutely no chance.
What about you? Who are you looking forward to seeing play this week?
Well, I'm at Fulham against Sunderland. I'm alongside the former Newcastle manager, Alan Pardew, as well, which is very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing Harry Wilson for Fulham, because at the moment, I feel like Fulham are in a tight spot, mate. And there's questions over Marco Silva's future. Wilson scored a hat-trick for Wales in that amazing win over North Macedonia, which unfortunately everyone missed because they were watching Scotland. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love Wilson as a player. Seems to be getting a bit of a run in the Fulham side at the moment. And I think this is a really tough game for Fulham this weekend. They're not in form, and they're taking on a Sunderland side who are fourth in the table. And I just think Sunderland so far this season, they've just brought that physicality. They're not nice to play against at all, which is the opposite of all the other promoted teams. Got to give them credit for that. And I'll be honest with you, I on paper, I think a lot of people might look at this and think, oh yeah, okay, Fulham win. I don't know. So I think if Fulham are to win,
people will look at it and think Fulham win.
Potentially, just because they're at home. They are decent at home, to be fair.
I'm looking at it and I'm not thinking.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I think if Fulham are to win, I think Harry Wilson will be the most important player. And yeah, so I'm looking for a big performance from him. I'll be completely neutral, though.
Yeah, of course.
Of course I will.
I look forward to listening to your commentary.
Always am. Up the Fulham. No, I'm joking. Rory, what about you? Who do you think needs a performance?
Well, I tell you who needs a performance. If Tottenham are to get anything out of this game, and they possibly can, it's unlikely, but if it's going to go their way on any level, whatever the definition of going their way is, I think it's almost essential that Mickey van der Ven has a good game. Like, Mickey van der Ven playing well could mean that Tottenham get something out of the game. Mickey van der Ven not playing well, Mickey van der Ven having a bad game effectively ends it as a competitive
He's
tie.
the crucial player for you. We had a caller earlier who actually said he was really worried about Vicario.
He's the crucial player for Tottenham. If he has a commanding game, if he is able to keep the Arsenal front line quiet, and remember, like, it's looking like Gyökeres is out, there's issues at Arsenal. So if Thomas Frank can get it going, if it all falls Arsenal's way, and if Van der Ven has the game of his life, I think Tottenham can come away with a point. but only if Van der Ven plays well.
Okay.
What about you? Who do you believe needs a performance?
I believe, not necessarily he needs a performance because he's just coming back into the side, and I'm praying that he starts, but Lewis Hall up against Manchester City for my Newcastle, because I just think there's almost a bit of pressure on Hall because of the issues that Newcastle have had at fullback, because they've been missing Livramento and Hall. And when he came on against Brentford, he was excellent. He got forward, and I think they've just been missing that so much. He was brilliant when he came on for a cameo in the game against Athletic Bilbao as well. He is such a top player. I rate him so highly. And I also think there's a really big chance for him, if he can stay fit, to play his way into potentially starting for England at the World Cup in that left-back position, particularly because Lewis Skelly obviously isn't getting the game time that he might want.
O'Reilly's gone above him now, though.
O'Reilly, that's a good point. But I think Lewis Hall potentially could battle with O'Reilly for that spot.
Do you think he can keep fit? It's been a real problem this season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been an issue. There's been other problems. He was out for the majority of last season, and honestly, he was one of Newcastle's better players until that injury happened. So I really do feel for him. But really glad to see him back, and it's just going to be exciting seeing Newcastle with a much more kind of natural left back in that position. Right, the second half of Preston 1, Blackburn 1 is about to get underway over on talkSPORT 2. Next here, though, we'll be looking at other Premier League games this weekend, and we'll start with whether Liverpool can get back to winning ways against Nottingham Forest.
Dear Kitman, we see you, we appreciate your work, While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the kitman. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit, make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the kitman. In the meantime, it's on the kitman to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the kitman then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Liverpool have got real challenges around them now. Whereas last year, with all due respect to Slot, and I don't care what Liverpool fans think, they sauntered to that league.
This is a bit of a crisis for him now. Yep. You know, there's 7 defeats this season. Performances have fallen well short of where they were last season. It was quite magnificent last season. He's got to get that back, but it doesn't look as if he's got the players completely on board.
I think getting Isak was just a massive mistake after they got Ekitike, where that money should have been spent on bolstering the defence.
But we do have some issues after the international break, unfortunately. So Conor Bradley is not able to play, Florian Wirtz is not able to play, so that's the far from ideal.
Good evening, this is Thank Football, it's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink. I'm alongside Lord Rory Warren Jennings the third. I love, basically a bit earlier, one of the texters accidentally called Rory Warren. I've just been really enjoying it.
Yeah, it was really, really funny. You should roll with it now for the whole show. It's really, really good. It's really witty stuff, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Lucky to have you.
Cheers, Warren.
Juvenile. Utter juvenile.
Anyway, there's plenty more Premier League games to look ahead to, and I want to talk about Liverpool. They're playing at Nottingham Forest. It's on Saturday. It's a 3:00 kickoff. By the way, Adrian Durham will keep you across all of these games. He's going around the grounds, of course, on Saturday afternoon. Liverpool, Rory, at the moment, they are 8th in the table. They are sitting on 18 points. They are, 8 points rather behind Arsenal in the table. Is it fair to say that they're not just out of the title race, they might actually be in a bit of a battle for the top 4?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because all logic suggests that they're not in the title race, but it is still only November. So I believe that when you are the champions, and not enough people conform to what I'm about to say, when you're the champions, you deserve a respect. You should extend a respect and almost a deference to the champions for this reason. They're the champions. They deserve acknowledgement. They are in the title race, but not for the truest of reasons. They're in the title race because it's November, and they should be considered. What Liverpool can do is win 10 in a row, or play 12.
Really, though?
They can play 12, win 9, draw 3. Like, of course they can.
I don't think this iteration of Liverpool currently can. I don't think they look close to that.
And what you're saying now, what we've seen for, say, the last 6 games, certainly suggests that. But let's remember that they're the champions. They're the champions for a reason. They deserve the respect of being champions. They won the first 4 or 5 in a row. And we saw last year that they can go on a run. Now, they're not in the title race, really. But until they're not in it properly, I think that they deserve the respect of at least being spoken about as a team that could potentially win the league.
It was interesting. I think it was Danny Murphy the other day, the former Liverpool midfielder, was speaking on talkSPORT, and he was talking about the fact that he thinks that Liverpool need to spend more money in January, and that's despite the huge outlay that they had in the summer.
Danny Murphy is completely correct. I find this happens when I talk about Chelsea, because we've spent, what, £500 million on 2 midfielders or whatever. People go, oh, look, what do you mean you need to spend more money? But Danny Murphy is saying that they need to spend more money. And the reason he's saying they need to spend more money is because it's true. They do. They do need to spend more money because they didn't spend the money wisely enough in the summer.
Do you think getting Isak was a mistake?
No, I don't. I certainly wouldn't label it a mistake. I rate him so highly, Ollie. I know you don't like to hear it. Obviously, you're a Newcastle fan, but I rate Alexander Isak incredibly highly. And I believe when it clicked for him at Anfield, the Kop are going to adore him. They're going to see him score some brilliant goals. And if you have the opportunity to sign Alexander Isak, I think you need to do everything in your power to get it over the line.
But the reason I'm saying it's a mistake isn't just because he hasn't scored a Premier League goal yet. By the way, just the one. Just the one so far in the Carabao Cup for old Alexander. But the actual reason that I'm saying it is that they maybe could have spent that money a bit wiser. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. They spent a lot on that front line.
No, but I don't think that you need to not sign Alexander Isak. I think you need to sign Alexander Isak, and then maybe you don't sign somebody else. Did they need to sign Frimpong? Maybe not. Did they need to sign Kirkes? Maybe not. Should they have prioritised Mark Guehi? 100% yes.
I don't know about you, Rory, bless you. I genuinely remember sitting there on deadline day and that Mark Guehi deal fell through right at the last minute. Palace decided to keep him because I think Glasner said that he was going to walk. And I felt that was a really big moment honestly in the season because...
No, I agree with you.
Because it just left Liverpool lacking at the back so much.
I was very wrong here, though. I was very wrong. I didn't think that it would be this dramatic. I thought they needed Mark Guehi. Again, I felt like they needed Mark Guehi because Mark Guehi is England's best centre-half. He's a centre-half clearly ready to play in the Champions League. He's a brilliant, brilliant player, Mark Guehi. So I thought they needed him for those reasons, but I didn't feel like their season depended upon it. I felt like Konate and Van Dijk were good enough. I've always rated Joe Gomez quite highly. Like, do you remember when Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk were the duo? They were brilliant. They had a great partnership, a great relationship. It seemed like they were
injury
best
problems, though, Joe Gomez.
But I felt like, and again, I'm happy to hold my hands up, I was wrong, but I didn't believe that Mark Guehi was the deciding factor on Liverpool's dream of retaining a Premier League title. The Premier League title, by the way, like, that they really did need to retain. Liverpool are a great club with great history, but they haven't retained a title since the mid-80s, early 80s, in fact. It's been a long time since they've retained a title. So I felt like they could still do it without Guehi, but I was wrong. And obviously signing Frimpong, signing Kirkes, felt like they needed to do it, but I think they should have really, really gone for broke to make sure that they got hold of Guehi.
I tell you what, they've got some nice, on paper, of course, fixtures coming up in the Premier League. They've got Forest, as I mentioned, at home on Saturday, tomorrow. Then they've got West Ham away. Then they've got Sunderland at home. Then they've got Leeds away. Then they've got Brighton at home. So do you feel as if this is a little period here for Arne Slot to just lift some of the pressure that's on him off himself? And also, how much pressure do you actually feel he is under right now?
I don't think he should be under any. I think it's one of the most ridiculous conversations that we can have.
They're eighth, though, Rory.
Yeah, I know, but they just won a league. Like, I've never understood how you can possibly talk about... Like, you know, when you've got a manager like Mikel Arteta, who's been in the job for 8 years and has won one FA Cup during COVID, and he's still in a job. The geezer won a league title, coming in, dethroning Manchester City, dethroning Pep Guardiola, getting ahead of Arsenal. And yet he's had a moody 5 or 6 games People are going, he needs to be sacked. I think it's absolutely bonkers.
I mean, that's the standards. You're champions.
But I think that once you've won a league title in the way that he has, he deserves a respect to suggest that 5 games going wrong, he can spin it around again.
Okay.
And look, you spoke about this at the very beginning of this segment. You said 8 points behind Arsenal. 8 points is a lot, but it's not insurmountable in November, is it?
It's not. I mean, it's happened to Arsenal before, hasn't it? I think they've been.
It's happened to Arsenal a lot later in the year than this as well. It's November.
Yeah.
All it takes is Liverpool to win 4 in a row, which isn't beyond the realms of possibility. Salah will score 20 goals this season. Like, he just will. He's taught us over the years that he will. Like, I think Florian Wirtz will land. I think Alexander Isak will be a great Liverpool player. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm often wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on all these things. But if I'm right, and Arne Slot sprinkles his version of Stardust on these players and gets them playing well, Liverpool win 2, Arsenal draw 1 here and there. You know, all of a sudden, the Premier League table looks very different. And I guarantee you, if Man City and Liverpool are breathing down Arsenal's neck, it is going to enact a pressure on Arteta that he has never felt before.
Yeah, that is true. Quick prediction for this game then, Liverpool against Forest. By the way, just before you predict this, Liverpool lost this game last season 1-0.
I think Liverpool win the game, but then I always think Liverpool are going to find their feet every game, and they seem to not. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 Liverpool win.
Okay, the game that I'm at tomorrow, Fulham against Sunderland. We had a quick chat about this a bit earlier, didn't we? And you know, both of us kind of saying that it's another chance really for Sunderland, isn't it? This, I mean, Fulham have been pretty good at home. I think they've won 3 out of their last 4. Craven Cottage. I've done a bit of research, haven't I, for my game tomorrow? But
I doubt you've done anything.
I just feel like it's that situation with Marco Silva that's just so uncomfortable at the moment. It feels at Fulham. Now they've offered him a new deal, but he just does not seem happy. He called the club passive in the summer. And I think we're edging towards probably a Silva exit at some point, which is interesting because, you know, we are probably near the kind of time where teams start to potentially sack managers. Having someone like Marco Silva potentially available could be quite attractive for other clubs. And it could leave Fulham in a really sticky spot.
I rate Marco Silva really highly. I think he's an excellent manager. Fulham baffle me. They baffle me. Their transfer activity baffles me. You know, you think about the good season that they had, the excellent manager that they have, the good players that they have at the club, and they didn't really do anything in the transfer window. Like, they had an opportunity to really kick on. They had an opportunity to really fight, to cement themselves as maybe one of the top 10, top 8, even dream of a European qualification. And yet they did nothing in the transfer window. You know, I understand that they have, you know, financial constraints and whatever else, but I feel like there was a lack of ambition, and I can understand why Marco Silva is feeling very frustrated. Sunderland will beat them.
Yeah, prediction?
Sunderland will beat them. Sunderland will beat them. They're far too robust, Sunderland, for this Fulham team.
Okay. Leeds against Villa. By the way, do you know what? I've got to say it. Hats off to Villa. What was it? They started the first 4 games. I don't think they scored a goal. Fair enough.
Emery, isn't it?
Fair enough.
It's Emery. Emery's just an elite.
6th in the table. And they've kind of turned it around. They beat Man City the other week. He's just managing to get them ticking once again. And it's also quite exciting to think what they could do in Europe this season.
I think Unai Emery is a great example of just having a top-class manager, a proven elite-level manager, I would argue. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah.
Is Unai Emery elite?
Yeah.
Where would you rate Unai Emery if you were ranking managers in the Premier League this season, say?
This season?
Well, is Unai Emery... But let's just agree, Pep Guardiola is clearly the best manager in the league, if not the world.
I think you have to give some credit to Arteta with the way Arsenal started the season.
But he's not a better manager than Unai Emery, is he?
No.
Arteta?
No, not with what Emery's achieved, no.
No, didn't Unai Emery win 3 European trophies in a row?
Yeah.
Retained it for 3 years.
He's won 4 as well.
Yeah, but he retained it for 3 years.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they're incomparable. I think Emery's great, and with Emery in charge, anything is possible for Villa. You know, it's just they made a little bit of a pig's ear of it, didn't they, towards the end of last season? Remember that draw at they got beat at Old Trafford.
Old Trafford, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Brilliant day.
So damn
brilliant day.
Of course it was.
Brilliant day. Newcastle scraping into 5th.
Goal ruled out.
Get in. Yeah, the goal ruled out. Yeah. Yeah.
It shouldn't have been.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Or sliding doors moment. That's what I mean.
Gwyneth Paltrow, man.
Yeah.
But no, I think Villa will win the game, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you think
I think Leeds are in a bit of
is there
trouble,
any
mate.
chance that Leeds can survive?
I think Leeds are in a bit of trouble, you know. I saw them at Brighton the other day, look really poor at the back. And they just have no firepower up front.
They signed Dominic Calvert-Lewin to stay in the Premier League.
It's not good enough, really, is it? It's not good enough. Yeah, it's a bit worried about Leeds United. Anyway, still 3 more games to preview in just a moment here on talkSPORT. It's Thank Football, it's Friday.
Okay, so we now have the news that Rob Edwards has been appointed the manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers.
There's no perfect job in football. There's no perfect job. Everyone comes with its challenges. So we know the scale of the task. I'm under no illusions as to that. But I'm also really excited by the challenge as well. And I've got full belief in the group.
Can you actually see that there's anything there for you? Over the period, they've lost Cunha, Neto, Fabian Silva, and Nori. What they're doing, Jim, they're just sifting through their players, taking all the good players out, and now the players that have come in aren't at the same level. It's doomed.
And even though there's some good players there, it's still not a squad that's going to form an 11 that's good enough to stay up. So it's a miracle if he keeps them up.
Good evening. This is Thank Football. It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink. I'm alongside Rory Jennings, king of the calculator, king of the abacus. Do you want another sum?
No, don't put me on a spot with maths. I've told you, I'm really good at maths.
8 times 5.
No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing your games. I'm not playing them. I'm very good at maths. It just takes me a long time, and I need a pen and paper and total silence.
You need a miracle, really.
It is an Achilles heel for me. You know, one of the reasons I'm not a professional darts player.
What?
Apart from the lack of skill.
Yeah.
The maths.
Yeah,
They're geniuses, man.
Yeah. I can do that.
Luke Littler. People don't talk about it enough. He has got the mind of a genius.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like Albert Einstein.
It's absolutely incredible, isn't it?
You know when they need the double and all that, and they just go blah, 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 like, how have you done that calculation?
Yeah. What about, because you play poker, don't you? Do you not need any of that kind of thing? Or was that more?
No, it's more basic.
Oh, okay.
And you have time.
Yeah.
I can do it. I just need time. At the poker table, I've got the sunglasses on, right? I've got the hood up, the sunglasses on. There's a lot going on behind it. I'm counting. I'm using my fingers under the poker table and all that. I am taking my time.
Fingers and toes.
Yeah.
Apparently, Darren Bent's got really into darts. Apparently, he
really good at maths.
He's got this guy. Yeah, no, he's got this guy who's obviously teaching him how to throw better. But also, apparently, he'll just give him a checkout, and Benny has to work it out as quickly as possible.
Really?
Yeah. What he needs to throw, what he needs to do.
See, that's why I can't be a professional
There's
darts
no
player.
way I could do that.
No.
Absolutely no
Oh,
way.
what are you projecting here? Are you not very good at maths either? Do you keep asking me sums because you can't do them?
Yeah, I'm awful at them, mate.
Are you as bad as me? Yeah,
yeah, it's really bad. Anyway, let's carry on with our previews of Premier League games. Tell you who needs a real miracle and an abundance of points is Wolverhampton Wanderers. They take on Crystal Palace tomorrow at 3:00. Of course, it'll be the first game in charge for Rob Edwards, who's made quite a controversial move, hasn't he, from Middlesbrough to Wolves. I mean, Rory, I heard Troy Deeney talking about Rob Edwards the other day, and what do you make of this shout? Troy said that if Rob Edwards manages to keep Wolves up, he should be manager of the season.
I I think that there's an element of truth in that.
I agree.
I think there's an element of truth in that. I think that we're very basic, aren't we, in this country? We basically give manager of the year to the person who wins the league. And I think it's way more complex than that. We should look at the achievements of various managers. We should look at what the expectations of the club were. I think there are very few examples. I think Jurgen Klopp won it 1 year. He got manager of the year 1 year when Pep Guardiola won the league. I think Tony Pulis perhaps won it 1 year. Tony Pulis won manager of the year when he obviously didn't win the league. But generally speaking, we just give it to the obvious choice. And I don't think that's correct. I think if you go into a club like Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are basically dead and buried, and somehow resurrect them, of course you should be seen as being manager of the year. I mean, I desperately hope that doesn't happen. Not because I don't like Wolverhampton Wanderers. I have a lot of respect for Wolverhampton Wanderers as a club. But I think that what Rob Edwards did to Middlesbrough was about as much betrayal as I can take.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
No, it was a disgraceful move. It was a completely Judas move. You can totally understand why Middlesbrough fans are irate. Middlesbrough fans are right. Middlesbrough fans made their feelings known, and I didn't really understand the reaction to people not understanding why Borough fans were angry. They were completely correct. Rob Edwards sold their fans down the river. He sold Steve Gibson down the river. He sold Middlesbrough Football Club down the river. And he expects to not have any pushback. Look, it's fine to do what you've done. You've prioritised yourself. You've prioritised your money. You've prioritised whatever's in it for you. But don't expect people to not call you like a Judas Iscariot type character, because that's exactly what Rob Edwards is. No, there is absolutely no honourable qualities to turning his back on Middlesbrough in the way that he did.
It's a tricky first game as well. Crystal Palace, who've had a really good start to this season. What's your prediction for this one? Do you think there's a little bit of a manager bounce? I think this is really tough.
I don't. I think Wolves just get beat.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, right.
That's a really tough game for Wolves.
Sorry, when you said tough, I thought you meant in terms of our prediction. I thought you meant it was a tough prediction.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
You don't.
No. I think it's too tough for Wolves. I think Palace win. Well, quite comfortable.
Yeah, I think Palace win as well.
Yeah, he's looking desperate.
No, it's a ridiculous move. But I would also agree, as much as I don't like Rob Edwards and I hope they go down, if Rob Edwards does keep them up, of course he deserves manager of the year. In the way that I think Andone Iraola doing what he's doing with Bournemouth is a worthy shout for being manager of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, let's chat about his game. Bournemouth are taking on West Ham United. West Ham have picked up a bit, actually. And do you know what? It's interesting because I feel like in Nuno's first games in charge, I was a bit worried. And I was actually really worried about the squad generally. But do you remember that Brentford performance and the team he selected, and he put the fullbacks in the wrong positions, and it was absolute chaos. It was all over the place when they were expecting a bit of a bounce. But once again, Nuno has shown that he is a bit of an operator. They managed to get the win over Newcastle. They managed to get the win over Burnley as well. They are still in the relegation zone, though, West Ham at the moment, sitting in
It's really annoying,
18th.
isn't it? Because they're going to be fine.
I think they will be,
They're going to be fine. Nuno Espirito Santo is a very good manager. He's not a great manager. He doesn't play in a way that will necessarily chime with the West Ham supporters. But what he is, he's a manager that will make sure that they don't go down. And I think West Ham fans, obviously, this season, they know how bad it's been. They'll sacrifice the West Ham way in order to stay in the league. Of course they will, and rightly so. So, yeah, annoyingly, I feel like Nuno Espirito Santo is going to keep them up. And yet again, GSB will get away with it.
Yeah. Prediction for that game, Bournemouth away? That's tough. That's tough for West Ham.
Yeah, it's a tough game, but I feel like
Bournemouth aren't in great
it's the
form.
kind of game as well. It's the kind of game where West Ham, if they are to survive, it's the kind of game where they should be eking out a point. It will be ugly. They'll be resilient. They'll be difficult to beat. They probably will go there not necessarily even looking for much more than a point. But I actually think they'll get it. I think it's got a draw written all over it.
You can probably see that I'm grinning a bit.
Yeah, why are you laughing?
Because I've just seen the next game that I've got to ask you about, and I just can't wait for your thoughts on it. It's Brighton and Hove Albion against Brentford.
Well, I mean, I'll be locked in. I mean, this is a great Premier League clash, steeped in history.
You're so brutal.
You think of the iconic clashes between the two over the years. You go back Premier League years, hasn't it been great? You've had cup finals between these two teams. It is a mega clash of two behemoth clubs, and I'm all for it. I can't wait. I mean, I'm going to be glued to it. I'm not sure there's a fixture I care less about.
You are so condescending to those two clubs, aren't you? How do you feel? You just feel like complete ambivalence, don't you?
When you talk about fixtures, like when you talk about like football in this country, we're so fortunate that we've got 150 years of football history to go on. And we can think about the rivalries over the years and the iconic cup finals over the years and the great clashes that have been relegation deciders and title deciders. And you think of all of the great clubs up and down the land. And then you got Brentford versus Brighton in the Premier League.
Yeah, but the beauty of football is
and you start thinking of that Oasis song, Where Did It All Go Wrong? It just starts playing in your mind.
The beauty of football is that any club can try and get to that kind of level.
You know, I understand how the pyramid works.
Yeah, no, but I think that's the beauty of football.
Yeah, it is.
Which is why I don't mind.
It would just be a better pyramid if it was Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, but that means you think there should be a natural order of clubs, which
it would be a better. Yeah, no, there is a natural order of clubs. It's a natural order. There is a food chain.
No, you have to earn your right.
Yeah, no, you have to earn your right. And I just wish that Sheffield Wednesday were better at football than Brentford, as they should be, because their history dictates that they should be, as Coventry City should be.
Yeah, tough at the moment. It's old Chef Wed, isn't it?
It's such a shame. But yeah, I mean, in terms of iconic clashes over the years, this is up there. I don't care.
Prediction?
Don't care.
Prediction?
I don't care.
You got to give me one.
1-1.
Oh, wow. It's going to be a barnstormer at the Amex. We talked about your Chelsea earlier. They're in the 12:30 kickoff. It is going to be live on talkSPORT, facing Burnley away. Burnley, I mean, we just discussed West Ham, and you just said they're going to be fine. Do you think that it will be Burnley and Leeds potentially that do join Wolves, who I imagine... I just can't see Wolves
Burnley
getting out
and
of this.
Leeds that join Wolves. Do you know, I'd like Burnley to stay up. I'd really like Burnley.
I would.
I'd like Burnley to stay out. They're a proud club, great stadium. I love Scott Parker.
And
as
all,
well.
they
I saw Scott Parker at the airport the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was starstruck. I said nothing. We were in the prep queue together.
What was his gear like? What was he?
Yeah, he's a well-dressed man. Tracksuit, I believe.
He is a well-dressed man,
Well-dressed
isn't he?
man.
He's got those cardigans with like the stripes on.
Yeah, no,
what are they?
well-dressed man.
Tom Ford or something?
Well, I don't know, mate. What do I know about Tom Ford? Mate, I'm a Penguin Clothing.
He was right back for Chelsea, wasn't he, back in the day?
But no, I like Scott Parker. I rate him highly as well. I do, but I do think that it's a huge challenge, isn't it? It's a huge challenge to keep Burnley up. I think, look, Chelsea are going to be too strong. Look, going to Turf Moor is not going to be easy for us. It's the kind of game that could be a bit of an Achilles heel for us.
Yeah.
It's the kind of game where we could shrink. Obviously, early kickoff doesn't help anyone, but it certainly doesn't help us. But I think that we'll get the job done. I think we'll be professional enough to get it done.
Okay, and just finally, a prediction for Man United Everton on Monday night.
David Moyes gets one over on his old club.
Masterclass from Moyes.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
By the way, so I've just got. Do you like to have a pop at me? Yeah, a guy called Dan Cole has just tweeted me.
Dan Cole.
And
did he play at rugby for England?
He said that you're a clown.
Nice.
He's tweeted me, and he said that you're a clown. This clown on talkSPORT is hilarious. This idiot thinks Lewis Hall can lock down a left-back spot for him. I've kind of changed what he said a little bit, because he actually said these two clowns are hilarious.
Oh, great.
One idiot thinks Lewis Hall can lock down a left-back spot for England. I tell you what, I agree. There is one idiot in this room that believes that.
You wait till Lewis Hall is in that squad. Over on talkSPORT 2, by the way, Blackburn have taken the lead against Preston and lead 2-1. Next, we'll be looking ahead to the EFL this weekend. Who does Dan Cole think will start at left back for England? His brother Ashley.
yeah, and he'd be right.
Yeah.
Well, basically, he thinks you're a clown. He's labelled you a clown twice in the same tweet.
He's offered no solutions, has he? Who
starts swearing after the bit that I read out. He starts swearing, so I can't actually tell you what he says beyond that.
Quite passionate about England left back.
No, he's quite passionate about disliking, well, both of us really.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
But certainly you. I think he prefers me to you.
I doubt that, mate.
I doubt it.
This is Thank Football. It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly, Clink, alongside the likeable, lovable Rory Jennings. Now it's time to focus on the EFL. I'm delighted to welcome in Justin Peach from the Second Tier podcast. Justin, how you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. Really excited to have the football back, to be honest. International breaks are always a bit slow when you cover club football.
Yeah, exactly. Great to have it back. Just by the way, over on talkSPORT 2 at the moment, it is Preston 1, Blackburn 2, and there's 10 minutes left in that game. You can listen to that over on talkSPORT 2. But I want to chat about some of the other games over the weekend with you, Justin. Let's start with Coventry, who are taking on West Brom. I mean, Coventry lost to Wrexham a few weeks ago, their first loss of the season, but then they've won both of their games since then. And it's a good sign, isn't it, that they can recover strongly?
Yeah, we've always been thinking about when that test is going to come for Frank Lampard and that Coventry team. And obviously the test is when you lose games in Championship is how quickly you can respond. And following up with two wins, and then obviously just before the international break, beating Stoke, who was second at the time that they played, was massive. And obviously it wasn't a game that went fully in Coventry's favour because they had to dig deep, and obviously they got the win with an outrageous goal from Mason Clark, which was a bicycle kick from a brilliant position. But that's the position they're in. They've got a muscle memory of winning games, and when you do lose, you bounce back and go on another run, and that could well happen. It's an opportune time to play West Brom at the moment.
Are you surprised by that, Justin? Like, generally speaking, when I think about West Brom, I always see them as a side that should be pushing for the playoffs. But it's just not happening for them this season, is it?
Yeah, they're in a strange position. Obviously, Ryan Mason's come in. He's quite new and it's his first job. But also West Brom generally are in a position where this is a completely new chapter, because it wasn't that long ago they had really bad ownership troubles where the threat of administration was quite high, was very, very high. So they're on a new phase right now. And I think this is just a bedding in period where it's almost a new squad. They lost some big names in the summer. They replaced them with a lot of defenders. They signed a lot of defenders in the summer, and obviously Hegabo up front, and sold Tom Fellows late in the window as well. And that's not helped because Samuel Illing Jr., who also came in the summer, an attacking player, hasn't quite hit the heights. And obviously when you lose someone of Tom Fellows' quality, it's going to impact that team. So I think they're going to be a side who probably bat around mid-table this season and then go again next season.
That game between Coventry and West Brom is live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow. It's at 12:30. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, Justin, it's Leicester against Stoke. Once again, that will be live and exclusive over on talkSPORT 2. Mark Robins has signed a new 3.5-year contract at Stoke. They sit third in the table. I mean, it's fair to say he's earned it, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he has. I mean, he signed a 3.5-year deal when he joined the club last January. So this is obviously a bumper salary for him. But he's done a terrific job, and I think the commitment from the Stoke board isn't necessarily the fact that they're trying to tie him down for a longer period of time because it's just an additional year on what he's already got. It's the fact that they're confident in him changing the culture at the club, because the culture has been the big issue at Stoke over the years. It's been horrific. There's been so many bad stories coming out of it. There's been managerial changes. And Mark Robins has come in. He's a culture setter. He did it at Coventry. Coventry were in League Two when he came in. Balanced that side and got them in the position that Frank Lampard's pushed them into now. So Mark Robins is a perfect man, and that's just a reward for the quality work he's done since he came in.
And can I ask you, Justin? I have a dream, and that dream is that Rob Edwards goes down with Wolves when Middlesbrough come up. How do you think they can cope without Rob Edwards?
I think they'll cope just fine. Even before this whole saga, I'm a big Rob Edwards skeptic. He's taken a club down from the Premier League into the Championship and set the course for League One for Luton. He was very lucky to get the Middlesbrough job, I thought. Very, very lucky, because Michael Carrick did such a good job. It just petered out towards the end. I think that happens sometimes, especially, it's very rare for managers to do 2 or 3 years now. But with Rob Edwards, he's a completely different style. So I think they'll cope absolutely fine. They've got a really good squad. I actually think Kim Hellberg, who's the man touted to come in to replace him, will get more out of that team than Rob Edwards did.
Another game I have to ask you about, the Steel City derby, Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United. That's on Sunday at 12 o'clock on talkSPORT 2. I mean, it's always a massive game, this, of course, as a derby, but obviously both sides are in the relegation zone. It's obviously tricky for Sheffield Wednesday for a multitude of reasons, but I mean, the season so far for Sheffield United has just been so disappointing, hasn't it?
Yeah, massively disappointing. This is probably the worst position that both clubs have been in when they've come up against each other, because one of them's either been down at relegation and the other's been competing for the top, but actually they're obviously both down there at the moment. With Sheffield United, it's just been bad decision-making after bad decision-making. They're a football club who need a manager who understands the culture of the city and the fans and the football that the fans need. They don't need vertical style. They don't need that level of coaching like a Ruben says. They need someone who's going to deploy crosses into the box and set pieces and get the fans fired up in that sense. And obviously Ruben Sayers wasn't that man, and it was a bit of an own goal from the owners, but they've taken ownership of that. They tried to change it quite quickly. And hopefully the tide will turn, but it needs to turn quick, because even if they beat Sheffield Wednesday this weekend, they're still not out of the bottom three.
And the Blaze picked up Patrick Bamford on a free transfer as well during the international break. How do you see him getting on there?
It's an interesting. I mean, he's got to get on with Chris Wilder first. There's obviously a bit of history there, but there's it's all good natured now, I believe. But I think it's a shrewd signing. But he's 32 years old. He's coming in November. Is he match fit? No. Is he what Sheffield United need? No. But the experience that he's got is going to be important, especially when you're trying to pick up results. But things have been. I mean, they've got Danny Ings on the books as well, and he's not really got going. So. It's one of those where I expect him to get a few goals, but he's not going to light things up.
Justin, can I ask you a bit about QPR? Julian Stefan, their manager. Do you think he actually knows his best team? Like, he seems to make 5 or 6 changes every game, and I don't think that's helping with their team cohesion, their patterns of play, or whatever else. Like, do you think he's a good manager? Do you think he can get it going at Queen's Park Rangers?
I think you're in a strange position, because we don't really know what their expectations are, because they've thrown money at it for the first time in such a long time. I mean, Richard Kone came in for a few million. That was a big, ambitious buy. Jimmy Dunn signed a new deal, who was touted to go to Sheffield United in the summer. He had a raft of clubs linked with him, and he stayed at QPR, I imagine, because there's ambition there. But I think Stefan is a good coach. There's just going to be a bit of a teething problem. But they've been on a streaky run. Both negatively and positively. They picked up a run of wins. I mean, they were the form team at one point, straight after that 7-1 defeat against Coventry earlier on in the season. They became the form team in the division 6 games later. And then they've just gone on a different run of form where it's dipped again. And I imagine that will keep happening, because they've got a raft of young players. They recruit relatively well. It's just bedding them in, gelling them with a new manager, new group of attackers, and going from there. So I think it will come good. It's just going to take a bit of time.
Justin, top man, thanks very much, mate.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
There we go. Justin Peach from the Second Tier podcast. Right, in just a moment here on talkSPORT. Actually, just before I go to the break, I need to bring you some news regarding the EFL. Vita Matos is close to becoming the new head coach of Swansea City. Swansea have agreed to pay the €1 million release clause to Maritimo, and a deal for the former Liverpool coach is now at the final stages, with an agreement understood to be close. So Vita Matos, close to becoming the new head coach of Swansea City. Right, in just a moment, we are going to be looking ahead to what is going to be a pulsating second day's play at the Ashes, which begins at 2:30 a.m. tonight.
England were bowled out for 172 with Mitchell Starc taking a test best 7 for 58. And then when they came out to bat, Australia found batting even more difficult. Archer with 2, Cast with 2, stumps on day 1 8. Australia 123 for 9. They trail still by 49.
Archer and Wood are lightning fast and very nasty to face, and the Aussies just look really rattled. So say we win this one and they can play the next one and we go 2 up, then suddenly you think, well, we could be in for a historic win over there.
It was like, we're not dead yet. We're going to come in, we're going to bowl these utter rockets, and we're going to give you guys a real tough time. And that's what they did. So game on.
Oh, baby, the Ashes already has burst into life. What an opening day it was, and what an opening day it was for England as well. This is Thank Football. It's Friday here on talkSPORT with me, Olly Clink, alongside Rory Jennings. Day 2 is on the way. It'll start at 2:30 in the morning. talkSPORT's cricket editor, John Norman, will be keeping you across the action. And there's so much reaction as well on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel too. Let's bring in, though, Alex Tudor, former England bowler. Alex, how you doing?
Hey, evening, guys. How are we?
Yeah, really good, thank you. I mean, what an opening day that was. And I think I saw a tweet from Chris Wokes saying you should never judge a pitch until both sides have batted on it. And that was the story of day 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I was up like hopefully a few others were at 1:30. Get the build up, get the feeling, get the vibe. And after the national anthems were done, the lads went to work, and then, as always, Stark does his thing. You could sort of guarantee how he was going to get Crawley out, caught slip, playing away from his body, playing at it. So you sort of was like, oh, God, here we go. And then the wickets were tumbling. Ollie Pope came in, looked really good for his 46 until Stark got him LBW. Listen, love watching Harry Brook bat. The way he goes about it, he's very exciting. He's one of those players that when you watch, as I say, one of those players that you need to watch. He's not one of those ones where you think, all right, we know what he's going to do. You don't know what he's going to do. You know, he's running down the wicket and start hitting him over extra cover and all these things. It's just, you're thinking, this is Test cricket. You're meant to take your time. But they don't. They just go out there, play on the front foot. You're thinking, listen, 172 in 32.5 balls or whatever it was. You're thinking it's not enough. But then whatever Stokes said in that huddle, and he had Archer, Bryden Cast, Wood, and himself, once those 4 bowlers came on, he sort of held himself back and then came on 5 for 23 off 6 overs. You couldn't write these lads scripts.
Yeah. Can I just ask you about the decision to bat first from England? Because they won the toss. They decided to bat first. And when you looked at that wicket, you thought, I mean, it's an absolute dream for the bowlers, of course. And then there might have been a few people thinking, when England were kind of tumbling in their first innings, have they made the right call there? But it kind of seems to have paid off, because usually, of course, the team that bats first at that ground go on to win.
Yeah, massively. And obviously on the Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum, they like to bowl first, but obviously they scored a wicket. It looked like a good wicket, and even when Ishiguro at the toss said to Steve Smith as well, what you had done, he said, yeah, I would have batted first. So that generally tells you that the wicket's a good one. They want the sun to bake down on it. It's flat. You sort of try and back your opposition into trouble, but that just did not happen, and it's not the way that England play. They were going to be positive. They're going to stick to that. And you either love them or hate them for it, but what you do is you get exciting cricket. But the one thing that it does tell me is that once both bowling attacks are fully fit, so if Australia get their bowling attack fit with Hazelwood and obviously the captain Cummins come back, but if England and Ben Stokes can keep Archer, Bryden Cast, Wood, I know he won't be able to play all the Test matches, but you've got Josh Tongue to come in. Gus Atkinson looked good as well. I think it's going to be a bowler's series, just because purely with the way the England team bat, but Australia's batting lineup doesn't. It's, you know, obviously I grew up in a time when they were ridiculously strong and they had a lot of world-class players. Listen, they've only got maybe 1 or 2 now, world-class players, and you're not losing sleep over a few of their batting lineup. So, with England, with Archer, as I said, with Wood, Brydon, Cast, these bowlers, Ben Stokes, they fear no one and they come hard at them. And when you've got bowlers that bowl 85 miles an hour above, I don't care who you are, you don't fancy it when it's coming around your ears and your head. And it just gets the heartbeat going and you start playing shots that you wouldn't really play if you was facing bowlers of 85 and below.
It really was an amazing day, but England haven't won an away Ashes in 14 years. So with that in mind, how important was it to get off with this performance on Friday?
I think, when those wickets were tumbling, you're sort of thinking, oh, here we go again. It was 4 years ago and it didn't go well. We didn't start well. I remember Rory Burns getting bowled first ball by Stark. And you're just thinking, here we go again. But with this England team, with Ben Stokes, the one thing they will not do is give up, and they will fight to the bitter end. And with those bowlers, it was the best. And I've heard people talking about on social media and on radio where the control that those lads possessed with the pace that they're bowling was what impressed, sort of the ex-pros and people that have a love of the game. When you're bowling at 90 mile an hour plus, but you have the control of your line and your length, and you generally putting the ball where you want it, it's a beautiful thing to see. And the way that they came at that Australian batting lineup, I think they're going to be very worried about the rest of the series, really, because they know that really the test matches are not going to go 5 days. Geez, the game could be over tomorrow with the way this guy, you'd be lucky if it goes into the third day. You're hoping it does. But it may just go into the morning. But they're going to have to figure a way, because they were getting peppered. Steve Smith was getting peppered in his hand, his wrist, his under his right elbow. And he's a world-class player. But as I said, when it's 90 mile an hour plus with control, I don't care who you are, you don't fancy it.
Oh, Alex, great stuff. Thank you so much. Let's hope that day two is as good as day one was. Alex Tudor, their former England bowler. Don't forget, for immediate reaction to the Ashes, you can tune in to Following On Ashes Inquest after every day's play throughout the series. You can listen on talkSPORT 2 or watch the show even on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Rory, Warren, it's been fantastic. Thanks, mate.
It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good. Sorry, I didn't realise you were talking to me.
What, because I said Warren?
Yeah, I genuinely didn't realise you were
You're ridiculous, man. You're ridiculous.
No, you're ridiculous. You had a slight opportunity to call me Warren because somebody called me Warren, and you've run with it for 3 hours.
Funny though.
It's like being back in primary school again. Now Majestic's on it.
Majestic's just come into the room and said, all right, Warren. And I tell you what, Majestic is up. This guy, Majestic, is a great guy. He's coming up next with the Sports Bar Weekender with Carlton Cole. Don't miss it, baby.